You are now tuned in to Lockdown Society Media on Vibe AZ 24/7 and on Lockdown Society Media. And I'm your host, Remopolis Tion Pleasant, OG Moppy Mop, MC Moppy Mop, when I used to rap at all the skating rinks in this town of Miles Point, Mississippi, and surrounding areas of Pascagoula, Goshen, Ocean Springs, Biloxi. All of this is home. And I'm honored and pleased to be home at this time talking to the people. Today we have a real president, and I am honored. I'm telling you, you couldn't do better for me than this president. President McMillion, please tell the people who you are, what your job is, your goal is, and what it's about for you on this occasion that we're dealing with so much here on the Gulf Coast, particularly Nolan Xavier Wales case. I'd like to say something other, but I have to say allegedly and a whole bunch of other things that I don't feel like saying. How has this case impacted you? Tell us who you are and what this case means to this community and what we should do about it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. My name is Ana McMillion. I'm the chairwoman for Jackson County Democratic Executive Committee. I am also a member of the Mississippi Democratic Party State Executive Committee. And so the current case with Nolan Wales is a replay in history. Of course, some will beg to differ with me, but as a preservationist, on the opposite side of work that I do, we study history. And history has this way of repeating itself if you don't learn from it.
That's right.
And so what we're seeing here is validation of things that we've seen in the past. Our biggest hope is that individuals will be transparent, they will tell the truth, and at the same time show justice for this family. The citizens of Jackson County deserve that. The family of Nolan Wales deserve that, and so much more.
You're absolutely right. Transparency. If there was just transparency, I think the process would be a little bit less creepy, right? So today, the family of Nolan Xavier Wales, his mother, and his father was in Chicago at the NAACP. And there, the release of the autopsy reports from the independent autopsy came about. I watched it with my aunt in Ocean Springs, and the phone started ringing as soon as it was over. What are your thoughts? My aunt, who does not interview, very soft-spoken, started talking. I said, hold on, Auntie, I need this interview. She said, well, go get it, because I'm going to have to talk. And she did. And she told me some things I didn't know about the family and things that have happened, right? So, right now, while it's fresh, while everyone is feeling how they feel after that news today, tell me, what do you feel of the news and how do you think it's going to impact the case moving forward?
Well, you know, again, truth has its way of being revealed. What I would like for everyone to keep in mind is to be very careful about what you say when it comes to diversing or exposing information. Because just as we sit here and we have conversations, there are those who also listen. And this case is a very deep case, but it's also a case of strategy. It's also a case where truth can be easily hidden and you're not knowing for years to come. And at some point, whether it's within our years of living or whether it's beyond that, the truth will shine, and we're hoping that justice will preserve and render for this child. And the reason why I call him a child, he's getting ready, he was about to be 18 years old. He had not had an opportunity to live life. And so we need to make sure that we're conscientious about that. This was a life that was taken. For what reason? We're still, the case is still being resolved. It's the research is still there. the asking the questions is still there. And so we need to remember that at the same time we're asking questions, so is his family. There are things that are not matching up. There's information that is still going backwards and forwards for correcting, for clarity.
Right.
And so, you know, everyone is coming about with different opinions, but at the same time, those opinions and that information needs to minimize itself to the most detail-oriented of information of facts. What is fact 1? What is fact 2, 3, 4, and line it up. Not hearsay, not speculation, not opinions, but what are the things that are factual? And we need to move forward from that angle and then go through the process that we need to from a judicial standpoint to make sure the law is being upheld. Because as we see as of right now, no one is going through the process that they need to or that they should have gone through had that shoe been on the other foot.
That is exactly where I was headed. I was headed to the fact that, you know, they often talk about smoking guns and no smoking guns.
Right.
If a white person is dead, they come find his phone at my house.
Right.
I ain't turned it over. They had to come track it and come to the house. I don't think I'm telling my story. I don't think my mother, my lawyer, will be telling that story for me. She'll be trying to hire a lawyer to find if they can get me a reasonable bail because I have been remanded and no bail, right? Does it baffle you that no one seemed to have spent even a night in jail?
Nothing is new for me. Nothing is of a surprise for me.
You know,
Again, we're doing what has been done in history. And as soon as we're able to understand that, the better off we will have an understanding of what's going on. We have too much denial instead of dealing with what the truth is and what's the facts that's in front of us. And so every time we choose to turn the cheek and look in a different direction, hoping that we can look for something more promising, you're not going to get that. This is 2026. It wasn't that long ago we was dealing with civil rights matters and the 1964 Freedom Summer Movement. That was right there in the 60s.
that's right.
That was 70s. We were still pressing the issues in the 80s. It got better, but they were still there.
Right.
So nothing has changed. Just strategy.
The strategy has changed, which means our strategy has to change. One would think. And I'll be here for those strategy meetings. You know, I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was watching this on the news. I knew about the case and everything, and of course I'm glued to the news, but I had a business obligation in Las Vegas, and that was going to be a very fun trip. I mean, I had it all mapped out, even down to the leisure time, and I saw the press conference, and it was going as I expected, and you know, I'm listening, and Mr. Al Sharpton, Reverend, he did a great job on it. I thank Al Sharpton and Spike Lee, who I spoke with briefly after the funeral, and Colin Carpenter and Terrell Owens, and those people that have star power and name that came down to Mississippi to assist in this travesty, right? But the part where Al Sharpton got on the microphone, I know he wish he took it back. I know he wish he can take it back. But he got to the microphone and basically said, I'm here now. I know how to talk to him. We deal with him. He definitely you said the words, I ain't like y'all. I'm built different. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I say, baby, change my flight plans immediately. I'm going home. Now, I appreciate everybody coming. I do. And I knew that after the celebration of life, they were going home. They have to. They don't live here. And it's about story, and it's about editing and all of the things, right? I knew that I'd still be here when they left because I come to talk to the people that they're not going to put a microphone in their face, you know. And people that's not just standing up there being polished in their tone, in their demeanor. I wanted to hear people like Larry Wayne Bradley say, I say, well, Larry Wayne, if me, you, and your brother James Earl go off on a boat with a white fella, and the white fella don't come back, what you think gonna happen to us? Larry Wayne say, what? First of all, everybody will come back. Ain't nobody leaving nobody, nowhere, white, black, ain't no racist. You with us, I can't go tell your mama why you ain't come back. If you don't come back, I don't come back. I have that footage. That is my friend since a young man. And it's so good to see that the values, I understand when Phoenix, you know, when people see me and watch me opening doors and yes sir and no ma'am and they, where you from? You know, it's always an anomaly to them. And I've often told people, you know, where you from? I say, that's New Orleans, you know, and they between New Orleans and Mobile. And I got tired of that, right? And I was thinking, I had never been actually proud to say, you know, I'm from Mississippi. I never wanted to talk with a drawl. I worked on my diction very well. I didn't want to be connected to servitude or acting as if we scared white folks. But when I started coming back and going to the Carver High, the Pascagoula Negro Carver High School class reunion, of which I am an heir via my mother and my father.
Okay.
And see the monarchs come, and I'm listening. Everything. This is where I get it from. I get it from here. I get it from Asbury Church, sitting up on there with them lip Easter lily. Better not mess up a word, right? Yeah. We are designed and built for all of the things that need to be done. And I like to say Mississippi, I love Mississippi, and I love what's going on. Okay, so in 5 years, I plan to be back. In 2 years, I plan to do a movie. We'll talk about that. But here, I want to know what can you see that's going on in the community. I want to get in where I fit in. I don't want to step on no toes. I see that building. I walk out there yesterday, I see that say for sale. I say, God is good, ain't it? You just walk outside, you know. And what a great location to be next to a great gentleman like Mr. Good. What is it that I can bring that Lockdown Society Media can bring to the community that is needed that I can start pushing for? Of course, I think recreational things, a lot of the parks that we used to play in are closed. Gaucher Park, we used to get snowballs. You didn't even have to play, you know. But if you go chase that foul ball down and bring it back, you can get a snowball. So we were all out there. Where are they now? You know, and so help me out. What can I do at home that actually make a difference that we can see in 5 years?
The mentorship, the program of connecting with the youth. There is a humongous gap between the seniors in the community and the young people. There is the City of Moss Point Parks and Recs that's ran by Miss Donna Joseph. And again, they try to do as much as they can to put out different programs and events. But again, the communication is not there. She can put it out on social media, but again, majority of the information never gets transferred. And then there's an over and abundant amount of activities coming from different churches and just other organizations coming in having things as well. So then there becomes a conflict in the scheduling.
Okay.
So you might have 2 events scheduled at the same time. You might have the mayor come out and speak at one point, but yet you got Moss Point School District doing the event. And so both times are conflicting with each other. Better organization on that. News media outlet. We need to have a voice here. Rip Daniels is the only voice.
Shout out to Rip Daniels.
Rip Daniels is the only voice.
Thank you for that voice, Rip. I'm coming to help. And I'm gonna need your guidance and support in these areas. Okay?
Rip has done a lot for years, but Rip is also a Gulfport. And so at the end of the day, Jackson County gets neglected with the things that are happening or occurring here in this county. And so again, like you said before, we have Moss Point, Pascagoula, Gaucher, Ocean Springs. We even have North Mississippi, where we got 3 rivers,
Right.
Van Cleve,
Mr.
Hurley.
Leon Wales, the blind gentleman in the neighborhood. Listen.
Oh, please tell me. You remember him?
Oh, listen. He had me join the 4-H club.
Okay.
I'm telling you, had me learn about agriculture and cows, and then we were in a stepping group. I was in a step group with his sons. We used to devil the dogs at one point before I joined the junior dogs.
Okay.
And he used to take us to 3 Rivers to step in these clubs with these wooden floors. It made us sound like we were really Omega Psi Phi's, in high school stomping. But Mr. The entire Wales family have been instrumental. I'm hearing those names on the fingers. I'm hearing names that I know. Things that I know, baby, I need to go home. Well, they already paid you the down payment for the.
Right.
Okay, you're right. I'll be going to Vegas, and it's gonna be fun. Don't want to let her know that, right? But at the end of it, I'm going home. You ain't got no refund. I don't need refund. I'm going home. As a matter of fact, start looking for property in this house. Okay, so.
And there's a lot of property.
I see. You can just walk outside and see it. Some of the things that I went down in Creola, looks like the new agent community has gotten that land that was available there. But my friend Bernard McCartney hadn't sold his, and we're talking about some things, right? So I hear you saying that we need some media, and I'm locked down society media. I'm coming home. Now, as far as Nolan Xavier Wales, he has a cousin, Darwin Wales Jr. He was arrested at the age of 15, with co-defendants aged 14, 15, and 17. It was an instance where a white man died, and those young gentlemen did not receive this level of, well, maybe they didn't do it. They all received natural life sentences. I spoke with Mr. Wales Jr., Darwin Wales Jr. last evening. As I'm working on his novels, I've been in communication with him for the past 2.5, 3 years via his grandmother, my OG Agnes Starworth, and say, I want you to look into this. I told her a few years ago about my company. She said, looking at my grandson. And I started looking up there. Everybody gonna want me to look at something. It probably ain't nothing. And I looked at Darwin Wales Jr. case, and it's maddening. 14 years old, he's now almost 34, and has been in Mississippi Department of Correction. They did not receive this level of maybe not. They did not receive this level of, well, wait until we get the whole record. They locked them boys up, and they basically have thrown away the key, although one gentleman did get his case overturned. And I feel on those grounds, all of them should be able to get their cases overturned. But there seemed to have been a wealth gap, and it's all about the dollar. So, being that's the case, I'm in the prison reform and reforming prisoners. I'm in the overturning the 13th Amendment, which now says slavery has been abolished except for punishment of crime. That is the drama, except for punishment of crime. See, they made us think, or made the population believe, that they were eradicating slavery, it was over. But what they actually did was expand it to 100% in the country. After the 13th Amendment, slavery has been abolished except for punishment of crime. After that happened, the very next day, places that did not have slaves, like Arizona where I live, New York, New Jersey, all had slaves. Why? Laundering became a felony. We ain't own no property, we were just property yesterday. So now we have a significant number of African Americans incarcerated, and when we get out, we have no rights. Definitely don't want to have that right to bear arms. Definitely don't want you to have that right to vote, right? Okay, I understand that you have an initiative around registering individuals to vote, and I was wondering if that initiative includes ex-felons like myself.
It does. I will say there is a big push by one of our representatives, Justice Gibbs, in regards to prison reform, and really trying to close that gap, but at the same time work with our incarcerated family members and citizens that are locked up that don't realize that they still have an opportunity to vote. we're missing a very large population that's locked up. And so I brought you something.
Okay.
This is the state of Mississippi.
It is.
And so at the end of the day, I'm going to hand that to you. And when you look at the list, let me know if you find anything familiar
Okay. Okay. Well,
that pertains to our community.
Know your rights about disenfranchising crimes. What is a disenfranchising crime? Conviction of a disenfranchising crime revokes your right to vote in Mississippi. Remember, if you have not been found guilty of one of those crimes, you are allowed to vote. Listen up, people. If you still have issues, call One Voice at 1-888-601-VOTE. That's 1-888-601-8683. If you have not been convicted of these crimes, you can vote. If you've not been convicted of armed robbery, or felony bad check, or felony shoplifting, or receiving stolen property, or unlawful taking of a motor vehicle, or obtaining money or goods under false